it's Nina. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today I'm here with Pretty Pink Posh for their May release blog hop, and I'm going to be showcasing the new Stitched Essentials dies and also some of the fabulous new sequin colors that are included in this release. To get started, I'm going to go ahead and start by doing some ink smooshing to create the sky background that goes behind my umbrella. First, I'm going to start off with some milled lavender distress ink, and I'm going to go ahead and spritz this with some Perfect Pearls and some water. It's just a little bit of Perfect Pearls mixed into the water here. I'm going to spray this ink, which is on top of some stamp packaging, and I'll go ahead and smush this down onto my paper and get some nice organic looking splatters and smushes all over the background of this paper. And what this is going to do is this is going to help me create a watercolor effect without having to do any painting. It's a lot easier and also very quick. I'm also going to be using some shaded lilac for the rest of my sky. I'm going to spray this again with that Perfect Pearl water, and then I'll go ahead and push that down right into my paper. There are multiple ways that you can do this. You could do this by adding water on top of the paper and then smooshing your ink onto the paper, or you can go ahead and put the ink onto the acetate, spritz it with water, and put it onto the dry paper, and then mist it with some water like this to make it move a little bit more. There's a variety of different ways that you can do this, and it's just a lot of fun to really experiment and get the look that you want. Now I'm going to dab up some of these extra darker spots because I don't want this to be too dark of a background. So I'll go ahead and dab that up with a baby wipe, and then I'll go ahead and dry this until it's all completely dried. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take some more of that water and flick it all over my background. I'm just going to use my hand to flick those water droplets all over the paper. And then once I have them on, I'm going to go ahead and dry this so that way the water splatters dry into the paper. It gives a nice organic texture, and I did not blot them off for this. I dried them directly into the paper, and it gives it a little bit more of a definition and really adds to the really interesting organic background of this paper. Alright, next I'm going to take some Delicata Silver ink. This is a really beautiful pigment ink. I'm going to stamp this off onto some scratch paper and then go ahead and stamp this down onto my card panel. I ended up deciding it ended up being too light, so I did go ahead and stamp over top of these after I've laid down the second generation. But if you wanted to have that lighter, more faded look, you could. I just wanted something a little bit darker, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp right back over top of these. Once I had the solid clouds stamped, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my outline cloud right over top of those solid clouds. And this is just going to give a little bit an extra interest and fill in the sky a little bit more. I like how these layer up together. It really creates a fun look. And here you can see that silver ink side by side with the paper, and you can see how it has this beautiful shimmer to it. It's really, really pretty. Now I went ahead and I'm going to go ahead and die cut this panel using the Stitched Essentials dies. These are brand new for Pretty Pink Posh. I'm going to go ahead and run this through my die cutting machine just like this. Now I thought I was going to do a pink umbrella when I was originally creating this card, but I decided to do purple. But I'll leave this in here so you can see how I did this. I just stamped the umbrella, and now I'm taking the stick. And by the way, these are from the Rainy Days stamp set from Pretty Pink Posh. I stamped the stick and the handle with the umbrella, and now I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this out. And this is going to create a beautiful little embellishment. And again, I just created the umbrella in a purple color in the end, just because I liked how the purple matched with the rest of the card. So I'll go ahead and fussy cut that out. And once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to creating my card panel. I've die cut another tag using the Stitched Essentials dies, and I'm going to be layering this behind my other tag that I'm die cut from my panel here. We're going to be popping up that one tag that was cut from the panel. We're going to be using some foam tape to go ahead and do that. And then here you can see I'm going to be stamping my sentiments over here on the right hand side of my panel. So I'll go ahead and attach this down onto a piece of white cardstock. This is just a backing piece to go ahead and help me hold this all together and also give me a place to be able to pop my umbrella up off of. So I'll go ahead and press that down, and then I will go ahead and take the vellum banner and I will attach that down directly onto the card panel just using some regular adhesive. And then finally I'm going to take my other tag and I'm going to pop that up off of my card panel using some foam tape. And I'll just go ahead and then attach my umbrella on top of this, just like that. Here you can see I moved on to the purple one, and I'll go ahead and cover this with some Wink of Stella glitter. I love adding glitter to all sorts of different things, and this umbrella certainly had to have some glitter. I'm also going to add a little heart to this umbrella, so I'm just going to use some glossy accents to glue this little teeny tiny heart onto my umbrella. For my sentiment, I'm going to go ahead and prep some vellum. I'm going to be stamping this on here. I've got some Versamark ink, and I'm going to be doing some heat embossing. This sentiment is from the Birdie Friends stamp set. I love this script font. It's really, really pretty. I'll go ahead and stamp that down, and then I will heat emboss this with some silver embossing powder. Now, I also wanted to have my other banner made with some vellum, but I wanted it to be a different color. So I've used some Rosy Cheeks Simon Says Stamp ink and an ink blending tool, and I added ink on top of the front and back side of the vellum just to tint it a little bit with that Rosy Cheeks color. And now I'm going to go ahead and stamp the rest of my sentiment onto that banner using some Versamark ink. I'll go ahead and make sure this is prepped with my powder tool so that way there's no residue from the ink that's going to hold on to that embossing powder. Sorry about my head. So I'll go ahead and stamp that down, and then I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss this with some white embossing powder. After I've embossed that, I'm going to trim this down with some scissors, and I'm going to cut some V ends along the sides just to give this a little bit of a nice banner edge and really finish this banner off. Now you can also see I've got my sequins placed there. I haven't attached them down yet, but I wanted to make sure that I had them in the exact positions that I wanted and that they matched well with everything else that I had going on in the card. So I left those there so that you can see how I'm going to be placing them, and then I'll go ahead and attach those down using some liquid adhesive. Finally, to finish this card off, I'm taking a little bit of some baker's twine here. This is some purple and white baker's twine. I'm going to go ahead and tie this along the top portion of my card. I love doing this on many of my cards. It really finishes off a card, and I have so much baker's twine I need to use it on something. Alright, so that's going to do it for me. I hope you've enjoyed and got some inspiration on using some of the new products from the Pretty Pink Posh May release. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments section below and head on over to my blog where you can get more information on this card, including still pictures and products used. If you enjoyed this video, here's another one you might like featuring Pretty Pink Posh products. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get more videos like this from me, and you can also find me on social media at Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, as well as my blog. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.